Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. We are just going to continue our exercise 1.3 today. Before we start our exercise, let's have a small recap of what we have done in our previous class. So let's have a recap. In exercise 1.1, we dealt with how to find the adjoint of a given matrix, and also we have studied how to find the inverse of a given matrix. So you have studied some formulas over there, yes? So always just have a glance every day. Whenever you go for the new exercise, you just have a glance of that formula, so that formula remains in your mind. Once you are clear with the formula, it's very easy. Just do not keep your formulas to the last moment. Every day 4 or 5 formulas, you just go on. Just see every day you have to see the sums that we have done previously, so that the steps, the methods will be clear to you. Study the formulas, just have write and see all the formulas, so that you will be ready with your pack of formulas. And exercise 1.2 dealt with finding the rank of the given matrix. So we have studied 2 different methods for finding rank. Yes children? One was by minor method and one was by row reduction method. So you have studied. So in minor method we have taken the second order, or we have taken the third order. So according to the question or according to the matrix, you have to choose the minor, you have to solve, and you have to get the rank. Similarly, we have also used row reduction method. So you have to go on reducing the rows and you have to find out the rank. So in the row reduction we have to find the number of non-zero rows. So the number of non-zero rows gives the rank of the given matrix. And the third one we have studied as about the Gauss-Jordan method. So what is the use of Gauss-Jordan method? We can find the inverse. So we have already studied how to find inverse in the first exercise, but here it's different. Here is we have to use the Gauss-Jordan method. So we have studied the definition for Gauss-Jordan. It was transforming the non-singular matrix to the form In. That is, we have to change a non-singular matrix to the identity matrix by applying elementary row operations. So we have seen some steps, yes? So you have studied some steps for elementary row operations. That is, we can interchange the rows or columns. Then we can multiply a particular row. Or we can just do the scalar addition. We can just add and we can multiply. So if it is R1, we can say R1 changes to R1 plus some scalar multiple of another row. So we have this type of transformation. So we have studied 3 elementary row transformation which was used in the Gauss-Jordan method. You have also, we have studied about singular matrix and non-singular matrix in our class 11. Yes children? Singular matrix means the determinant becomes 0. Suppose you have any matrix A, so if you take the determinant of that matrix, you should get the answer as 0 for singular matrix. For non-singular matrix, the determinant will be not equal to 0. We have studied, yes, if we get determinant as 0, the inverse will not exist. So remember, if you have to find the inverse, the determinant should not be equal to 0. And if the determinant is not equal to 0, we say that the matrix is a non-singular matrix. So this was the sum that we have done in our previous class. And in exercise 1.3, we dealt with a new method that was solving the system of linear equations by matrix inversion method. In our lower classes, we have found the values of the unknown variables using substitution method and so on. Yes, here we are going to use a method called matrix inversion method. So we have done one type of sum, that is we have solved the sum of 2 by 2 matrices. So now we are going to deal with 3 by 3 matrix. So let's start our sum. So take down your classwork, write down today's date. From question number 1, the first sum was done as classwork, and I gave you the second sum as homework. Yes, children? Yes, I hope you have all completed your homeworks and submitted. Okay, so now we are going to start the third subpart. Take down the third subpart question. Write down the question properly. 2x plus 3y minus z is equal to 9. X plus y plus z is equal to 9. 3x minus y minus z is equal to minus 1. Copy down the question properly. Take down the signs. Check the signs properly. Do not make mistake while copying the question. So check your questions twice or thrice. 2x plus 3y minus z is equal to 9. X plus y plus z is equal to 9. 3x minus y minus z is equal to minus 1. So we have taken on the question. Now let's proceed with the answer part. Okay children. So what was the first step? We have to write the form of the matrix. Write down the matrix form of the system is. The matrix form of the system is AX is equal to B, where, so you have to write you have to find your matrix A, you have to find matrix X, and also you have to find the matrix B. So find out the matrix A, X and B. So where are you going to find out? You are going to find out from the question itself, okay? So we have been given with the linear equation. So find out the matrix A, find out matrix X, and also find matrix B. X and B. Okay, so this is your work. Do it fast. Have you filled, children? Okay, let's check whether your answers are correct. So what is the matrix A? It's 2, 3 and minus 1. See, here no coefficient, so you have to take it as 1. Do not write as 0. So 2, 3, minus 1, done. From the next equation, 1, 1, 1, done. The third equation, 3, minus 1, minus 1. 3 minus 1, again minus 1. X, the variables used over here. What are the variables used? It's X, Y and Z. What are the variables? X, Y, Z. Coming for the B part. B part deals with the RHS part. What are the numbers on the RHS part here? It's 9, 9 minus 1. 9, 9 minus 1. So we have found all the matrix, that is a whatever required matrix from the given equation. So now let's proceed our sum. So before we proceed, the question here is we are going to use the inversion method. Yes children, here we are dealing with the inverse part. So first thing is you have to check whether the inverse exists. So let's check whether the inverse exists. Okay, so let's find out whether the inverse is existing over here. So I'm going to find determinant of A. So you know what are the signs to be followed for determinant A. Don't get confused with the terms. I'm mentioning here determinant. So determinant is different, cofactors are different. So understand the terms carefully. So now what we are going to do, we are going to find out determinant of A. So what's the sign used for determinant of A? It's plus. Here we have to use minus. And for the third part, we have to use plus. So let's have a check. So let's go with the sum. So I'm going to do the sum directly because already we have done step by step in the previous sum. So now you have to learn how to do the sums directly. So we are going to try the sums directly. So let's have a check. So what's the main sign here, children? It's plus. So listen to me carefully, children. First listen to me. So it's plus 2, yes? So it's 2 here, done. Now you have to just remove, that's you have to just leave the corresponding row and the corresponding column. So just leave it. And what are the terms left here? Yeah, you have to take this matrix. So it's 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. So what do you get here? Cross multiply and get the answer. Yeah, it's 1, 1 into minus 1, it's minus 1. Remember, just go very carefully, do not miss any signs, do not miss any numbers. Everything, if the first step itself is wrong, everything will go wrong. So be careful. So follow your steps properly, children. So it's 1 into minus 1, okay. What is the main sign to be used? Minus, done. Minus 1 into minus, it's minus 1 into 1. See, first we have done 1 into minus 1, yes. So we got minus 1. And what is the main sign to be used here? Minus. Now minus 1 into 1, it's again minus 1. So what you do is, write the answer in bracket. Okay, is it clear? So you get minus 1, minus 1. Okay, let's go for the next part. X minus, I have to use the sign minus. What is the number here? 3. So take 3, put a bracket. So you have to leave the corresponding row and the corresponding column. So let's leave the corresponding column and the corresponding row. So what is left now? This part and this part goes, yes. So 1, 1, 3, minus 1. So let's cross multiply, children. 1 into minus 1. Minus 1, okay. Main sign minus. 3 ones are 3. So you get minus 3, minus 1, minus 3. Now what is the next sign here? Plus. So when we have a plus sign, no need to change any sign. We can just take the same number as it is. If suppose here it was minus, then we have to change the sign. But now here what is the main sign? Plus. So keep the plus as it is. Otherwise we no need to write plus. We'll take this number directly. So what we'll write here? Minus 1. Are you getting this step? Actually what happens here? See, I have to write here plus. Then what do we have here? Minus 1. So what ultimately you are going to get? You are going to get the answer as minus 1. So now what we are going to do is, we are just going to write as minus 1 directly. So when we have a positive sign, no need to worry about the sign. The same number you are going to copy down along with the sign. So now you have to leave the corresponding row and the corresponding column. So first row and the last column will be left out. Yes. So now what's left here? Let's multiply and get the answer. 1 into minus 1 gives you minus 1. Then next. So this one, yes, minus 3. 1 into 3, minus 3. Yes. So let's simplify our answer. It's 2. Minus 1, minus turns to be plus. So minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 gives you 0. So this is 0 here. We have minus 3. Minus 1 minus 3. Minus plus. So 1 plus 3 is 4. Sign of the bigger number? Minus. So the answer is minus 4. Again here minus 1. Minus 1 minus 3. So already we have found the answer, yes children. So we have got minus 4. Let's do the simplification. So 2 into 0 gives you 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Minus 3 into minus 4. Minus 3 into minus 4. 3 4s are 12. Minus plus. So the answer is plus 12. Minus 1 into minus 4. 1 4s are 4. Minus turn to be plus. So you have plus 4. So what's the answer, children? It's 16. So determinant of A is 16. That's what you're going to say here. You'll say determinant of A is equal to 16, which is not equal to 0. That is, this is a non-singular matrix. We are not getting the determinant as 0. So a non-singular matrix. Therefore, A inverse exists. Getting first point. So we have written the form of the system. We have found the matrix A, X and B. Then we have finding the value for determinant of A. Why are we finding determinant A? Whether we are going to check whether the inverse exists or not. Yes, here the inverse exists. Why the inverse exists? Because we are getting a determinant which is not equal to 0. Yes. So we have done the first part. First and second part is done. Yes. First step is to write the matrix. Second step to find the determinant of A. Now let's see the next thing. So now what is the formula for matrix inversion method, children? Here what is the unknown part? I know the matrix A. I know the matrix B. So what is the unknown part here? The unknown thing is to find the value for X. So we are going to write the formula for finding X. So what's the formula for finding X? So you just write here X is equal to A inverse B. Yes, children, I have told you, see, already I have explained to you in the previous one, but let me explain you once again. If we have Ax is equal to B here, and what is the unknown thing here? If suppose I have to find x, yes, so I am just going to keep the unknown part on the same place, that is it is in the LHS part, so keep it in the LHS part. Now we are going to shift A to the RHS part, so do not take A over here, okay, this is wrong. A is in the first part, yes. So when you are shifting A to the RHS part, it should go to the first part. So it becomes x is equal to A inverse B. Getting the step? So we are going to find out the value for x. And what is the formula for x? It is A inverse B. Okay, children. So now we are going to find out the value for A inverse. Before we go for the matrix multiplication, let us find the value for A inverse separately, and later on we will insert the value and we will multiply. Later on we will substitute the value over here, okay? So first is do not mingle everything in the formula. Just separately find out the value for A inverse. I have taught you the direct method for finding A inverse for 2 by 2 matrix. Yes, student, do you remember that formula? Yes. The formula for A inverse is, what do you get here? 1 upon AD minus BC. Yeah, if it's a A, B, C, D matrix, what happens? The A and D gets interchanged. D, A, and we have to write the interchange the sign. So it becomes minus B, minus C. This was the method to find A inverse, yes. But here we have to deal with 3 by 3 order. So we cannot use this formula. So we have to use a cofactor method. So you have to first find cofactor, then you have to find the adjoint, and then we have to apply the formula and we have to get the answer. So what formula we are going to use here? The formula used here is A inverse. So we have that is for 2 by 2 matrix, okay, that was the formula used, previous formula. And for 3 by matrix, it's A inverse is 1 upon determinant A adjoint A. So we are going to use this formula. So what we are going to do is, first of all, I will be finding A inverse. After finding A inverse, I will substitute the value of A inverse over here. Okay, and then we will do the matrix multiplication. So let's start, let's see how to find A inverse. And in A inverse already we have found determinant A, yes. So only the thing is to find adjoint A. And what were the steps to find adjoint A? The first thing is to find the cofactor. And second thing is you have to take the transpose of cofactor. So remember the step for finding adjoint A. The first thing is to find cofactor. And the second thing is to find the transpose of the cofactor. Transpose of the cofactor is the joint. Okay. So let's start with the step. So first thing is find a cofactor of A. So let's go with the sum. I hope you know how to go with the sum. Yes. So try out the step, children. Find out cofactor of A. You know the matrix A. Yes. So consider your matrix A and find cofactor of A. So I just have a step here. Cofactor of A. Remember the sign to be followed for finding the cofactor. Yeah, it's plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So this is the signs to be followed. So do not make mistake. Copy the terms carefully. Plus, minus, plus, fill the details. Okay, you can fill the details. So just fill the details. I just give you some time. Complete the step, children. Fill the details. Get the answer for cofactor. See the sign, okay, already I have given you the hint there. You have to use plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Let's fill the details. We have to leave the first row and the first column. So what is left here? 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. Okay, done. Next, second, that is first row and the second column. See, first row and the second column. So what are the numbers left, children? 1, 1, 3 minus 1. 1, 1, 3 minus 1. Just you have to check your answer whether you have taken down the numbers properly. You know how to find the cofactors. Yes, children? So just complete the answer. You can try it, but just when you write the numbers, please take the proper numbers. Do not miss the numbers when everything goes wrong. So be careful. So first row and the third column, remove the first row and the third. So 1, 1 and 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1. Next, second row, first column. Second row, first column. So what is left now? 3 minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. 3 minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Okay. Similarly, fill the remaining details. So now, second row and second column. So this part and this part will be left. Okay? So 2 minus 1, 3 minus 1. 2 minus 1, 3 minus 1. Second row, third column. Second row and third column. Yes, students, so what is left? 2, 3, 3 minus 1. 2, 3, 3 minus 1. Last. Remember the sign? Plus, minus, plus. Third row, first column. Third row, first column. So 3 minus 1, 1, 1. 3 minus 1, 1, 1. Okay, next. Third row, second column. So this and this goes. So what is left now? 2 minus 1, 1, 1. 2 minus 1, 1, 1. 2 minus 1, 1, 1. Yeah. Then third row, third column. So 2, 3, 1, 1. 2, 3, 1, 1. 2, 3, 1, 1. Yes, children? So I'll just write here 1, 1. Okay. Have you taken the cofactors? So let's simplify and let's get the answer for it. So first one, I'm going to write the answers directly. So what do you get here this set? This is minus 1 minus of minus 1. Getting the point? 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. Minus main sign, minus 1 into 1, minus 1. So minus 1 plus 1, 0. Minus 1 minus 3. So minus 4. Yeah, the sign is minus 4. I get the answer here minus 4, but what is the sign here? Minus. So it becomes plus 4. So it's first plus 4, yes? Now here, minus 1, minus 3. 1 into 1, minus 1, minus 1. It's minus 3. So you have minus 4. Next, minus 3. Minus 3. My main sign minus. Well, minus 1 into minus 1, 1. So minus 3 minus 1. It's minus 3 minus 1. Minus minus plus. So 3 plus 1, 4. We have both the number as negative. So it should be taken as negative. So it is minus 4 and we have here 1. Outside the sign is minus. So it is plus 4. So you have here 4. Next number. Give me the answer, children. Minus 2. 2 into minus 1. Minus 2. Minus 3 into minus 1. So it's minus 3. So minus 2 plus 3. Minus 2 plus 3. What is the answer? 3 minus 2 is plus 1. Yes. Minus 2 minus 9. So minus 11. We have a negative sign here. So it is plus 11. 3 minus minus 1. 3 3 ones are 3, main sign minus, 1 into minus 1, minus 1. So 3 plus 1, 4. 2 ones are 2, main sign minus, 1 into minus 1, minus 1. So 2 plus 1, 3, main sign minus, so minus 3. So 4 minus 3. Okay, last one. Get the answer for the last one. It's 2 minus 3. It's minus 1. So 0, 4, minus 4. 4, 1, 11. 4 minus 3 and minus 1. So just be careful with the signs. You have to insert the signs also properly, children. So just check the signs also. Okay, so we have found the cofactor. The next thing is to find the adjoint. Yes. So for finding the adjoint, we have to take the transpose of cofactor. So let's take the step. I'll just rub this part here. Okay. So write down. Adjoint A is equal to 0, 4, minus 4, 4, 1, 11, 4, minus 3, minus 1 transpose. This is equal to interchange. Transpose is interchanging of rows and columns. So 0, 4, minus 4, 4, 1, 11, 4, minus 3, minus 1. So we have found the value for adjoint A. So what is the formula that we are going to use for A inverse? The formula for A inverse is 1 upon determinant A adjoint A. So let's write the value for A inverse. So A inverse is 1 upon determinant A adjoint A. So we have already found the value for determinant A and also we have found the value for adjoint A. Yes. So just put everything together. So this is 1 upon it's 16, yes, and write the adjoint A. 0, 4, 4, 4, 1, minus 3, minus 4, 11, minus 1. So we have got the values. So I have got the value for A inverse. The sum is not done, just the formula that we have to use is x is equal to A inverse B. So just we have found the value for A inverse. So what is the value for A inverse? 1 upon 16. 0, 4, 4, 4, 1, minus 3, minus 4, 11, minus 1. Okay, now let's substitute the value for A inverse in the formula and let's try to get the value for x. So x is equal to A inverse. Yes, write the value for A inverse. 1 upon 16, 0, 4, 4, 4, 1, minus 3, minus 4, 11, minus 1. Minus 4, 11, minus 1. Yes, children. And one more thing is left. Yes, x is written. A inverse is written. Now here we have read the value for B, that is matrix B. What is matrix B? Refer your question. Yeah, we have already written. Yes, it's 9, 9 and minus 1. So write down the matrix here. So 9, 9, minus 1. So let's multiply and get the answer. So we have to just use a matrix multiplication and get the answer. So this is equal to 1 upon 16. Let's follow. 0 into 9, 0. 4 nines are 36. 4 into minus 4. Next. 4 nines are 36. Plus 9. Minus 3 into minus 1. What is the answer? Minus 3 into minus 1? It's plus 3. Complete the next part and give me the answer. Okay, next. What do you get here? Minus 4 into 9, minus 36. 11 into 9 plus 99, minus 1 into minus 1. What is minus 1 into minus 1? Plus 1. Okay, so what we have here, 1 upon 16, 36 minus 34. 36 minus 4, sorry. 36 minus 4, what do you get? When you take 4 from 36, it's 32. 36 plus 9 plus 3 is 36 plus 12, 48. Minus 36 plus 99 plus 1. Yes, children. So add, take the positive numbers together first. So 99 plus 1 gives you 100. 100 minus 36. What's the answer? Yes, it's 64. 100 minus 36, 64. Yes. So 64. So we have just come to the answer part. Just one more step. So we have your 1 upon 16. Yes, children. So just you are going to multiply 1 upon 16 to each and every element. So what do you get here? X is equal to 32 into 1 upon 16. Yes. So 32 into 1 upon 16 means 16 twos are. So you get here 2. Divide 48 by 16. You get 3. And 64 by 16 gives you 4. So X is equal to 2, 3, 4. So we have to write our final answer. So the question was to find the value for this. You have to solve the linear equation. So why do we solve? What we get when we solve the linear equation? We get the value for x, y and z. So let's write the final answer. We have to mention over here. Therefore, x is equal to, the first is x. Because we have written the value for x. From where do you get this? See, x is nothing but x is, just show the step here. So x is x, y, z. X, y, z is equal to 2, 3, 4. So already we have studied about equal matrices, yes. So x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3 and z is equal to 4. Therefore, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3 and z is equal to 4. So take down the final answer. So go with the steps. So for exercise 1.3, so we have to use the steps or we have to use the formulas that were used in exercise 1.1. So we have to be thorough with each and everything. So if you are starting any particular, if you are just starting exercise 1.3, it doesn't mean that only we have to just think of 1.3. We have to recollect the formulas that we have studied earlier. We may use some formulas that we have studied in our earlier classes. So be clear with the concept. So we have completed the third subpart. Now the fourth subpart will be a homework. See children, just one small hint I'll give you for doing sum number 4. In sum number 4, everything is given in the LHS part, yes? So keep the variable on the LHS part and bring the numbers, that is the constant part to the RHS part. Then you do not write the sum in the same manner it's given in the question. For the first and the second equation, you have to change. You have to bring it in the LHS format and the RHS format. Keep only the variables on the LHS part and the numbers on the RHS part. The third equation is given in a normal format, yes? The variables are on the LHS part and the number is on the RHS part. So no need to do any changes. So exercise 1.3, question number 1, the fourth subpart will be a homework. So note down your homeworks. You are not going to miss your homeworks. You are going to submit your homeworks on time. We are having a record of the homeworks. We are just seeing who is doing the homework properly. We are noting everything daily. So just submit your works on time, children. Your internal assessment marks will be based on your homeworks, your assignments and whatever class test we conduct. So you have to do everything properly and submit it on time. So what's the homework here? Okay, so I'm just writing the homework part. Exercise 1.3 homework is exercise 1.3 sum number 1, fourth subpart, and also question number 2 is your homework. See here children, for question number 2, two matrices is given to you. Yes, A matrix and B matrix is given to you. You're going to find the products AB and you're going to find BA and hence solve the equation. So they have given you one equation and you have to solve that equation. Okay, so what are you going to do here? You're just going to follow example 1.24 for solving sum number 2. Okay, just refer 1.24. The same type of question is there. So when you refer that, and you have to apply the formula and you have to get the answer. That's also a simple sum. So just try out that sum. Question number 2 is also homework, and you have to just refer 1.24. Example 1.24. Okay, children? Do not do 1.5. I don't want 1.24. You have to do sum number 2. Okay? Sum number 2. Sum number 1 and sum number 2. For sum number 2, you have to refer example 1.24. Again, I am just repeating the homework part, children. Homework is exercise 1.3, sum number 1, the fourth subpart, and question number 2. And for question number 2, you can just take the help from example 1.24. You just refer your example 1.24. Now let's come to the next sum, the third sum. Write on the question. Take on the third question, a word problem type. So let's go with the sum. A man is appointed in a job. Take sum number 3. Okay, children. Let's write the question. A man is appointed in a job with a monthly salary of certain amount and a fixed amount of annual increment. If his salary was rupees 19,800 per month at the end of the first month after 3 years of service, and rupees 23,400 per month at the end of the first month after 9 years of service, find his starting salary and his annual increment. Use matrix inversion method to solve the problem. So they have already mentioned there, you are going to solve the word problem using matrix inversion method. So for using the matrix inversion method, we have to convert the problem as an equation format, yes? And from the equation format, we can find our A matrix, we can find our B matrix, and also we can find our X matrix, yes? So let's read the question once again. See here, children. What's the question? A man is appointed in a job. So he is being appointed in a job with a monthly salary of some amount. So he is going to get some, of course he is going to get a monthly salary. Okay, he will be getting the monthly salary every month of certain amount. So they are not mentioning here what is the certain amount. So we are going to find out the starting salary. Yes, that's what we have to find out. And also a fixed amount of increment, annual increment. Annual increment means after a particular year. That annual increment means he is not going to get the increment every month. He will be getting the increment after a particular year. So a fixed amount of annual increment. So he will be giving some fixed amount of annual increment. So when the increment will be there, when there will be increment after the year ends, that is after a annual. Annual means 1 year or two. So here there is annual year means after the end of the year, the man will be having an increment. So what is the condition when a man is being appointed for a job? He will get a monthly salary of particular amount, and also he will be get an annual increment. There will be increment as the end years. Okay, if you must be knowing all these things, yes, children. So anyway, you are going to complete your 12th standard, then you will be doing your college works, college days will be completed, then you will just go for a job, yes. So before you go to a job, when you enter your job, when you go for interview, so you will be discussed with all these things, yes. So you will be having so much of salary, you will be having so much of increment. So these are the things that will be used for your future. So this is just our life max, okay. So just understand the question which deals with our life. Okay, so that was the first point. Now, what was the salary? See here, if his salary was rupees 90, so two conditions are given, yes, children. So one is if his salary was rupees 19,800 per month. The salary 19,000. So what is the salary he get? He get 19,800 per month at the end of the first month after 3 years of service. See, at the end of the first month means, suppose if I am working, suppose a man is appointed for a job, Jan to December, he is going to get some salary. Suppose he is going to get 85,000 salary. Anyway, you are all going to go for a higher job and you are going to earn lakhs and lakhs as children. So let's think the man is having a job of salary 85,000. So when the increment will be there, the increment will be the first month. That is, he will not have an increment in the month of December. This is his whole annual. Okay. So when the man will have increment, that is, suppose this is 2020. So he will be having an increment 2021. At the end of the first month. So he's saying at the end of the first month, at the end of Jan, he is going to have an increment. So along with 85,000, some increment will be there. So we don't know what is the increment, so we have to find out what are the details. Okay. So what he gets 19,800 per month at the end of the first month after 3 years of service. After 3 years of service, what is the salary he is getting? 19,800. And also rupees 23,400 per month at the end of the first month after 9 years of service. So after 9 years of service, he is getting a salary of rupees 23,400. So now what is the question? The question is to find his starting salary, and also we have to find his annual increment. So what was the increment every year? So these two things we are going to find. So let's start our answer right now. I hope you have taken on the question, children. So let's start with the answer. Not at the moment, but this is a very important addition, so we'll just keep this. So exercise 1.3, question number 1, 4 and 7. Okay, so let's continue our sum. Sum number 3. So the two unknown part. One is the starting salary and one more thing is the annual increment. So just let's start the statement. Let the man's starting salary be X. Okay. One more thing is unknown. Annual increment and his, so it's a salary, so what will be the unit, children? It will be rupees, yes, rupees X, and his annual increment will be rupees Y. So these two things we have to find. We have to find X, that is the first salary or the starting salary, and Y, that is the, what is that, annual increment. So anyway, if a person goes for a job every year, they have to increase the salary, okay, so that becomes the annual increment. And when you get the annual increment at the end of the month, it is end of the first month, okay. So we have to just find out what is the salary and what is the annual increment. So these two things were unknown, yes children. So this is already given in the question. Find his starting salary and the annual increment. So I have just taken the starting salary as rupees X and annual increment as rupees Y. So now let's follow the condition. So let's read the statement once again and let's try to get the condition. So according to the condition, read the statement, children. See here. If his salary was rupees 19,800, what is the salary the man is getting here? The salary is 19,800. So he gets a salary of 19,800 per month at the end of the first month after 3 years of service. That is after 3 years. See here, 3 year annual increment deals with the year, yes, annually. So after years, year by year, what will be the increment? So now after 3 years, so 3 years means 3Y. Okay, Y deals with the increment annually. So just take here 3Y, and the starting salary we are just taking here X. So this is X plus 3Y is equal to 19,800. Are you getting the step, children? See here, What is the salary the man is getting? 19,800. And when he is getting the salary? At the end of the first month after 3 years of service. It is 3y. So x plus 3y is equal to 19,800. Read the next statement. Continue. Rupees 23,400 per month. That is 23,400 per month at the end of the first month after 9 years of service. So how many years? Yes, after 9 years. So it will be 9y. And here we have to just use the same variable, that is x. So what are the conditions? X plus 3y is equal to 19,800. X plus 9y is equal to 23,400. So these are the two equations. Okay. So now we have to use the matrix inversion method here. So what is the form of the matrix? Yes, AX is equal to B. So write down the statement. The matrix is of the form. Actually here the question is to solve it. So here the inverse will exist because the thing is to find out the salary and the increment. So anyhow if the man is going for a job, he is going to get one salary or he is going to get some increment. So anyhow the increment will be there. That is the determinant A will exist. So anyhow we will just try the step and we'll follow the normal step for the sum. So the matrix is of the form AX is equal to B, where what is A, children, here? A is 1, 3, 1, 9. 1, 3, 1, 9. What is X? Two variables used here, X and Y. And what is B here? 19,800, 23,400. Okay. So matrix is of the form AX is equal to B, where A is equal to 1, 3, 1, 9, X, Y, B. That is X is X, Y, and B is 19,800, 23,400. Have you taken down? Are you taking down the step, children? Take down the steps. Okay. Now we have to get the formula. What is the formula for X, children? Yeah, X is equal to A inverse B. So now what you are going to do is, you are going to find the value for A inverse. And now here finding A inverse is very easy because this is of 2 by 2 matrices. So when it's a 2 by 2 matrix, we can directly use the shortcut method, 1 upon AD minus BC, then interchange A and D, then change the sign of B and C. So before we go to the step, let's find the value for determinant A. So what's determinant A, children? It's cross multiply. So 9 minus 3. It's 6. Is it 0? No, it's not equal to 0. Therefore, A inverse exists. So let's find the value for A inverse. A inverse is 1 upon. Okay. I'm just doing the, okay. And I'll write the value here directly. So I'm just going to write the formula here, the corner part. Okay. So mention here the formula for A inverse is 1 upon AD minus BC. D A is here minus B minus C. Then, okay, already we have found this as I told you. This is nothing but this is determinant A only, okay. So what we get here, 1 upon 6 D A, interchange A and D, 9 and 1, yes children. So 9, 1, okay. Change the sign. So minus 3, minus 3. So I have found the value for A inverse. What is the answer for A inverse? 1 upon 6, 9, minus 3, minus 1 and 1. So let's substitute the values. Before we just write the value here, it's 1 upon 6, 9, minus 3. So you mention this step, okay, do not just skip this step, you have to just show your step. Because I am writing here the answers directly. So just in the corner, you have to show the step. Do not skip the step, children, you may lose your marks. So you have to show your steps. Minus 1. Okay, so now let's find the value for X. So X is equal to, insert the value, 1 upon 6, 9, minus 3, minus 1, 1. What is the value for B, children? Yeah. It's 19,008. The number looks bigger, yes. So be careful with the calculation part. So I have just substituted the value for A inverse and B. So now let's do the matrix multiplication and get the answer. I hope you have taken on the first part. I just rub this part, children. So let's do the matrix multiplication. So x is equal to 1 upon 6 as it is multiplied. So 9 into 19,800. 9 into 19,800 minus 3 into 23,400. Then minus 1 into 19,800 minus and plus 1 into 23,400. Do the calculation and give the answer, children. What's 9 into 19,800? That is, do the multiplication and get the answer. It's 198 into 9 is 72, 81, 88, 1782. It's 1782 and 2 zeros to be added minus 234 plus 234 into 3. 12, 9, 10, 6, 702 and 2 zeros. The next part, simple, this we know is minus 19 is 19,800 plus 23,400. So when you solve, you get, do the subtraction. So you get the answer as 108,000. 1,08,000. 1,08,000. And you, when you simplify this, 23,400, 19,800. So 0, 0. 14 minus 8 gives you 6, 2. So 12 minus 9, 3. So 3,600. Sign is, this is a bigger number, yes? So the sign will be plus. So do not get confused with the sign. So we have got 1,08,000, 3,600. So just divide by 16. So when you divide by 16, 108 divided by 16. You can go by 4 table or you can go by 16 table, no problem. 16 into 18 units. It is 10800 the rest. So I just take the whole number, no problem. I just do it upon 16. So 4 4s are 4 2s are 8. 2, 4 7 are 28, 1 2 3 0. 4 6 are 4 6 are 24. Oh, what's the determinant here? 6, student. So we have taken 6, yes, 6. So yes, so we have divided by 6. So 108 is equal to divide by 6. No need to take that 0 part. 6 ones are 4, 6 8s are. Yes? 6 ones are 6, 4 is left, so 8. So this is 18 and 3 zeros are left, so 18,000. And again divide by 6 here, so you get 36 by 66, 600. So this is the value for x. So x is equal to 18,600. So we have to conclude our answer. So this is our x and y. So x is equal to rupees 18,000 and y is equal to rupees 600. So what is the starting salary of the man? The starting salary is rupees 18,000. And what is the annual increment? He is getting an increment of rupees 600 at the end of every year. So now let's write the final statement. So we have found the value for x and y. So our work is to write the final statement. So write the final statement. Therefore, we have taken let the man's starting salary be x. Therefore, starting salary is rupees 18,000 and the annual increment, so that every year there will be increment in the salary. Yes, children? So, and the annual increment is rupees 600. So, this is the solution of the question. So, we got the value for x and also we have got the value for y. So, we have completed sum number 3. So, one more work for you. You are going to complete sum number 4 as homework. So, one more sum is left which will be done in the next class. Sum number 5 deals with a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, children. So, I'll be just doing the sum in the next class. So, you have to complete 3 sums as homework. One from question number 1, that is the 4 sub part. Then question number 2, you have to refer your example 1.24 and the 4th sum. 4th sum also deals with the 2 by 2 matrix. So, it's easy to apply the formula and get the answer. So, read the question carefully. Form the equation and try to solve the unknown values. So, we'll stop the class over here. We'll meet in the next class.